Perimeter is the distance around an object. If we wanted to create a polygon, a shape with a perimeter of 15, there's a couple of different ways we could do that. Perhaps the simplest way would be to get a couple of pieces of scratch paper, measure out 3 different lengths that when you add them together they equal 15, and then combine them together to make a triangle. So the first thing I need to do is I need to think of 3 different numbers that when I add them up, they're going to equal 15. Well, right away I think of 5. Then I need to pick another number that would be less than 10 because I know 5 plus 10 equals 15 and I need 3 numbers to make a triangle. So maybe I'll do a 7. And 5 plus 7 equals 12, so in order to get up to 15 I would need 3 more. So in theory, if I build a triangle that has a length of 5, a length of 7, and a length of 3, when I add those all up together I should get 15, and I should have a polygon with a perimeter of 15. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make these 3 sides. I need a length that has 5, a length that has 7, and a length that has 3. Now from here I can take each one of these and rotate them around and start to build with them so that they create a triangle. This is why doing it with scratch paper would be helpful, because then you'd have room to be able to really twist and bend and make them fit the way you want them to fit. And you can see you'll have to play around with it a little bit. It won't always work the first time that you do it, so I can see I need to bend this one in just a little bit more. And that got me closer, but still not quite where I wanted it to be. If I bend it just a little bit more, I'll be able to eventually get it close to making that triangle shape that I want. There we go. So you can see now I have a polygon, a closed shape with straight sides that has a perimeter of 15 inches. Because this side right here was 7 inches, this side right here was 5 inches, and this side right here was 3 inches. So if you're ever thinking about building a shape with a specific perimeter, think about 3 numbers that when you add them up it'll equal that perimeter, and then sketch out those lengths on scraps of paper, and then you can rotate them around until they finally come together and form a triangle. Now another way that you can think of it would be if you're trying to build a rectangle. With a rectangle you have 2 short sides that are the same length and 2 long sides that are the same length. The nice thing about this is that there's a pattern to it, so I don't ever have to measure with scratch paper and start twisting around or building anything. What I want to do is I want to take my perimeter of 24 inches and I want to split it up into 2 lengths. I want to figure out the short sides and the long sides. So if I take 24 and divide it exactly in half, that would be 12 and 12. That means that the perimeter of these 2 sides right here, when I put them together, will be 12, and the perimeter of these 2 sides right here, when I put them together, will be 12. They're the same 2 lengths put together, so it's going to be 12 and 12. Now I want to break it up even further. I want a short side and a long side, so I just need to think about what is a small number and a big number that when I add them together, it's going to equal 12. Well, I could do 1 and 11. I could do 2 and 10. I could do lots of different numbers that will eventually add up to 12. I think today I want to do an 8 and a 4. So what I did was I started with my total perimeter. The distance all the way around this rectangle is 24. I decided I just wanted to focus on half of the shape first, a short side and a long side. So I took that 24 and I divided it in half. That means this short and long put together is 12, and this short and long put together is 12. Then I did some experimenting and I thought about what could be a short length and a long length that when I add them up together will give me my 12. I decided I was going to do 8 for my long length and 4 for my short length. When I put this all together, my long lengths are going to be 8, because when I divide this one up as well, I would have an 8 and a 4 as well. And my short lengths are going to be 4. When I add that up together, 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 8 is 16, plus another 8 is 24. So if I were building this shape, I would need to be 8 inches long and 4 inches high. And I'm just going to estimate right now. It's probably about 4. I could take my ruler then and rotate it around and confirm that it is indeed 4 inches long. Yep. So there's 2 different ways that you can create your polygons. You could think of 3 numbers that add up to your total, draw them on scratch paper, and rotate them around until you can finally put them together to make a triangle. Or you could take the length and try to make a rectangle, in which case you would divide it in half equal, so 24 divided in half is 12 plus 12, and then you divide that up into a long side and a short side. Now I want you to use one of these strategies to create a polygon with a perimeter of 16 inches. You're going to need to pause the video now, build your shape or draw your shape, and then go ahead and start again when you're ready to check your work. Okay, welcome back. Now there's 2 different strategies and I'll show both of them. My shape probably will not be the same as yours, but the big thing you need to do is just make sure that when you add up all of the sides on your shape, does it equal 16? Now the first way we talked about would be if I drew 3 sides and when I added those 3 numbers together it equals 16. So maybe I want to do a 7, a 6, and a 3. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus another 3 is 16, which is what I wanted. Then when I'm drawing them, I would make one that was 7 inches long, one that is 6 inches long, and one that is 3 inches long. Then from there I could rotate them around until they finally pieced together and made a nice triangle shape. Now again, on my screen it's going to take a while for me to be able to put all those pieces together nicely. With your scratch paper though, you should have been able to rotate them fairly easily so that they connected nicely. See, I need to shift this one out a little bit. Okay, so you get that idea. 3 numbers, when you add them up together, they're going to equal 16. The other way that you could do it would be taking it and trying to build that rectangle. So the first thing you should have done is looked at that 16 and thought to yourself, how can I make a short side and a long side? How can I divide that into 2 pieces so I know what my 2 short and longs add up to? Well, 8 plus 8 equals 16. So that means this short and long is going to total 8, and this short and long is going to equal 8. Then you need to divide it again, and you have to think about what do I want my short side to be, and what do I want my long side to be. Maybe in this case I want my long side to be 6 and my short side to be 2, because 6 plus 2 equals 8. So when I was drawing, I should have 2 short sides that are each 2, and then 2 long sides that are each 6. You could have done 1 and 7, you could have done 2 and 6, you could have done 3 and 5, you could have done 4 and 4. All of those would have built rectangles that had the correct perimeter. I double check, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus another 2 is 16. I know that I've done it correctly. So double check your measurements. Do all of your sides when you add them up equals 16? If so, you know you did it correctly. Go ahead and move on to the next activity.